Good morning and welcome to the chat on Newsday Amarillo and News Channel 10-2. I'm David Lovejoy,
Good morning, everybody. I'm Rhonda.
and Chuck's away from the desk this morning, a little under the weather. Get better soon, buddy.
And you all just missed a treat
What's
off
that?
air.
I know it, yeah. Our
We got
producer, Jacob.
serenaded.
Jacob was putting it down,
Yeah,
wasn't
it was.
he? He was putting it down. Good job, Jacob. Jacob was my co-host on Friday, just myself. And so,
Sorry,
yeah,
I wasn't
yeah,
there.
that's okay. We all had it's getting crazy. Speaking of crazy, big week for you, huh? Very
Perhaps.
big week.
Yeah.
Perhaps, maybe big week.
No, perhaps. It's a big week.
Yeah, it's a big week. Our dear Rhonda's getting married this Saturday. Marrying our friend from the Sports Drive and the Lance Launder Sports Hour here on the Star 102.9 Saturday. So much happiness to the both of you.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
We're ready to get
Get
this.
it, get it over with.
Well,
You
I,
hate to
I
say
was
that.
I was talking to my dad yesterday. I said, "Everybody get this show on the
I
road
know.
here."
Let's get it on. Let's get it on. Well, we'll take a look at Eye on Wellness. What are we going to dig into today?
Well, it's Alzheimer's Awareness Month. I mean, I think we have maybe a couple of those in the year,
Yeah,
but when
yeah,
you think about the devastation of it, we need to be aware,
yeah, yeah. A
very
little bit more
aware.
cognizant of it. Yeah.
Yeah, it all starts with brain health.
Mhm.
And, the way that I like to look at things is everything's connected. If you're having an issue with, you know, anything cognitive or mental, there's so many things we can look at to see if we can pinpoint, what is sparking the inflammation
Mhm.
that leads to, the brain diseases that none of us want.
Right, right.
And so,
And it's surprising. You look at the numbers now, and you talk about how things tie in. Uh, Younger and younger generations are falling
mhm,
to this disease, and we say Alzheimer's, but it's really an umbrella for
mhm,
dementia and other things.
there's all kinds of things.
And there's been a direct link to diet and
Mhm,
the progression of this disease. Processed foods,
mhm.
heavy in sugar and things like that, diets like that are a known contributor to this, and that's why you see it in younger and younger people.
Absolutely. Those are things that because they're so highly processed, the body finds very little nutrition out of something that say came out of a box and then out of a bag and was made by man. And if we could all get back to a more whole, fresh diet, a lot of things would start to clear up for us. But we think we need it because of the convenience. It's our culture. We want
Hmm.
to be able to drive through in the evening when we don't have time to cook,
Yeah,
which,
make it easy on yourself.
yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, I got to get this kid here, get that kid here. I've got this. So a lot of processed and convenient foods have led to this, what I call an epidemic in, Alzheimer's, dementia, and all those things that go under that umbrella. And then, sometimes there's a genetic factor
Oh,
as well. Cause I've told you about my friends, the mom had this one particular
type
um,
of.
yeah, and she passed from it.
Mhm.
She lost that battle after a very long fight, but then all 3 of her children came down with the
Mhm.
same brain issue, and, 2 of those have passed away.
From this issue.
And they
Wow.
were, I'm thinking back, they were in the youth group when I was, teaching Sunday school and stuff like
Wow.
that, so they're quite a bit younger than I am,
Wow.
and yet they've had this to deal with, and it's very much a battle. But yeah, diet, we can talk about, gut health and how I've talked to you about the vagus nerve that goes from the gut to the brain, and it's like a highway. So anything that affects your gut is going to affect your brain. And by the way, a lot of that stuff, what is good for your brain is good for your gut. What is also good for your heart is usually good for your gut
Mm.
too. So it really doesn't make sense to just look at one specific thing when you're trying to figure out what's bothering you. You need to look at all aspects of what's your lifestyle like? What kind of diet are you following? Are you hydrated? What steps are you taking to increase mental agility? Let's put
Mhm.
it that way.
Yeah.
And there's so many things that you can do.
And that's the key. Once uh, eh, we think it may not be preventable, but there are things that can alleviate the chances.
Manageable.
It's manageable. That's it. That's the term I'm looking
Yeah. I
for.
mean, if you get that diagnosis, there are things that can be done.
Hmm.
Doesn't have to be a death sentence, but you
Right.
may have to
Right.
change a few things. There's diet, there's hydration, then there's exercise. And, just a little side note, what exercise will do for you. For example, my father is in the hospital
Mhm.
right now,
Yeah.
and he is dealing with a couple of different issues. But one of the nurses finally said, "Have you been up walking around every day, 2 or 3 times a day?" And he said, "No." And she said, "Let's try that. And
Yeah.
where's your water?"
Yeah.
And he was like, "Okay." So he started going a couple of laps around that hospital hall a day, and just the attitude that I heard come through. He is so much more positive, feels so much better. I think I'm gonna get out pretty soon.
Oh, wow.
And the day before it was like it was gloom and doom.
100.
He felt horrible.
So that big of a difference, just
Yeah.
that soon. Wow.
I
That
mean,
that's
it was
really
amazing.
amazing.
I was like, "That's great,
Yeah.
Dad. Let's keep that up." So
That's pretty. You don't think you think, well, it really doesn't make that big of a difference.
yeah.
That's what you think in your mind.
But
But
that's just one of the effects of exercise, the neurotransmitters that come along with the, afterward of that. That's what makes our brain function a little better. It all ties in. You know, People with Alzheimer's, dementia, and all that, if they can move, that's one of the best things that they can do. Not to mention all the other benefits that you're going to get out of it. But yeah, I mean, the main thing with the brain problems is like everything else, let's get the inflammation down.
that's what it's about. To get it swelling down.
Mhm.
Now we hear advertisements now about these brain health
Mhm.
supplements you can get, and is that something that might help in either retarding the process or slowing down the process of that inflammation of the brain?
When you look at a really good supplement, when they're claiming that it's for brain health and all that, you're gonna see things like, uh, the really good quality fatty acids. You're
Mhm.
gonna see things like fish oil, krill oil, things like that. And usually the higher quality ones, you're better off if you're refrigerating those.
Right.
It helps you keep those properties better. And yeah, I do believe for some people, um, they're gonna be able to tell you that this really does
It makes a
affect
difference.
my daily life.
Yeah.
Now,
Makes
sometimes
a
you have to do things for a while. You
Mhm.
can't take a magic pill and expect
Right.
to be, I'm a new person today. It's going to take a minute. All the years that we have eaten processed food, stayed inactive,
Mhm.
um, it, all the chemicals and pollutants that we take in, and we don't even mean to,
Right.
just because of our lifestyle. That all affects the brain, and so that takes years to get you down that spectrum. It's not going to happen overnight, but you can improve things with proper diet, proper supplementation, exercise, and hydration. Your
Yeah.
brain is almost all water.
All water.
Mhm,
One of the things we see also, we hear it, especially dealing with the elderly, is brain function, using your brain,
mhm,
playing crosswords or doing different things to challenge your mind, keep your mind thinking.
mhm.
Does that play a major role in the progression or the deterrent of Alzheimer's and other umbrella illnesses like that?
Yeah, I think it's a way to, keep yourself from going farther down the
Mhm.
spectrum.
Yeah.
Another thing, you talked about the word puzzles and playing games and things like that, but being social
Right.
is
Wow.
huge because when people when they're either diagnosed or, they kind of start noticing things about their behavior, their speech or whatever, a lot of people tend to shut down
Right.
and withdraw. And that's one of the worst things that you can do. So, it's very important that, if you know somebody, if you have an elderly relative that's basically a shut in,
Hmm.
you go visit them. You take
Go
them
check on
things
'em.
to, things to make, crafts to do, games to play. You make sure that they are in contact with somebody every day. It is
Mhm.
amazing what just that one thing will do for brain stimulation.
Wow, that's amazing. That blows my mind. Well, you can find this story and more on our website at kgncnewsnow.com. We'll take a quick break. We're back with more chat right here on Newsday Amarillo and News Channel 10 2.